has drawn them to Islam. And it just shows the way of Allah. You can use the simplest of things, you know, or either the most curious of things to attract one's attention, like the lady who's in the laundry, or like yourself, who has an accident and is caught having to stay at home and now forced to read a book, you know, about Islam. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so you accept Islam, and so talk to us about now what happened next, and particularly with the family, because a lot of new Muslims, you know, have some varying kinds of reactions from their family and their friends. What was the reaction of your family and friends once you announced that you're now Muslim?
Okay, so we have the family, we have the friends. We'll start first of all with the family. What happened, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed me with some very good brothers during that time who were, you know, serious about practicing Islam. And right after I became Muslim, they asked me, where are you living? I said, I'm living, you know, in this area.
Place, yes.
And they said, you know, mashallah, we have a masjid right there. And actually, the masjid from my grandparents' house where I was living in that time, it was, you know, we did it with the car. It was 2.7 miles from my house. So I used to walk there for Fajr and the other prayers, and after I started
2.7 miles.
2.7 miles.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the days before we got a little older, you know.
you were healthy.
I was in basketball. I was playing basketball. I was in good shape during those days. So at that time, 2.7 miles was the closest masjid. So I went there that night to the masjid, and I met the other brothers, and they said, you know, you want to come and learn some things in the next few days, and another masjid, another area, we're going to go there for a few days. So I went, and we learned some stuff about Islam. As I was coming, I had, you know, the gold cross, the gold chain. I had another gold chain. I had an earring, diamond earring.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Diamond.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after this, you know, I went to the masjid and I'm praying, you know.
Now, and at this point, your parents still don't know yet?
Don't know yet.
Okay.
Now, this is like the second day.
Okay. Now, but where were you still staying at your grandmother's?
Yeah, but there was another area, they said, we're going to go there, you know, like, and you know, just to have some lessons and teach you some things if you want to come. So I went there with them. In another area, the brothers took me, and they were, you know, they were learning about Islam, how to pray, and they were teaching me the basics. And the good thing is they had some, you know, youth with them. These were like older brothers, but they had some, you know, some of the youth who were in my age, teenagers.
Yes.
So they came to the side and told me, as Muslim, you shouldn't have a gold necklace.
Yes.
You shouldn't have an earring, you know, as a Muslim man. So I was like, okay, no, I took that off. So that was the last of that, alhamdulillah. And then after
that didn't bother you? I mean, in terms of removing the gold.
Yeah, I wanted to learn, you know.
Okay,
so,
alhamdulillah.
You know, and then I don't want to be like an outcast, obviously, you know.
Sure.
You know, I noticed that after they said I'm like the only one with the gold chain falling on the ground as I'm making sujood, you know.
Yeah. So there was some peer pressure there.
Yeah, but it was good peer pressure, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, good, alhamdulillah.
So I took that off, and then after that we started, you know, to try to learn more about Islam. The brothers would come pick me up, take me to Jummah. And one of the blessings that happened to me, another blessing that happened to me, is 2 weeks after I became Muslim, it was Ramadan. 2 weeks.
And we want to talk about that a little later on in the show.
Inshallah. Yeah, so it was Ramadan, so I had to fast.
Yes.
And I started fasting, alhamdulillah. I didn't have trouble fasting. I mean, this was a blessing from Allah. But this took me to the tarawih in this, you know, in the sunnah and doing this during Ramadan. The brothers are teaching me, so I want to learn. I'm trying to learn more. So I started to go to the masjid more and more, and every day I'm in the mosque there with the brothers.
Yes.
And then after this, you know, I really started to, you know, get into Islam.
Alhamdulillah.
At an early stage, 2-3 weeks. After a month, alhamdulillah, since I became Muslim, I never shaved my beard. Because I know this is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ has ordered the Muslim men to have beards.
Yes.
So this is something I learned this. You know, I learned, you know, a lot about Islam. And I started buying books, started reading books. And I guess I have 2 books that really affected me at the beginning of Islam. Maybe I could tell you a little later. And then we had, you know, the Taraweeh. We're going there and praying. So all this really affected me. And then the brothers I was with, they were trying to follow the Sunnah. You know, long beards, wearing turbans and this, and Islamic attire.
Yes.
So I said, I want to do like this too. So since after I became Muslim, I've always worn Islamic attire, even in America. You remember when I left America, to go out to seek knowledge.
Yes.
I left and had wearing my thobe and my turban.
Yes.
And that's how we used to do, because, you know, I want to follow the Sunnah. So, you know, I had my highlighter, anything I find Sunnah in the book, I'd highlight it and try to implement it. So I really started, you know, to love the Sunnah and to love Islam, and this would inspire me to go overseas to study more about Islam, to learn more about Islam. Okay, the family.
For the family, yes,
and the friends. Okay, I haven't forgotten.
Good.
The family and the friends. My family, actually, you'd be surprised, they're actually very happy.
Alhamdulillah. Well, why? What did they say?
Not really. I'm not going to say they're happy about Islam.
I understand.
But
They're happy because your life changed for the better.
Exactly.
Now, see, if you actually, this was the response for my mother. My mother, when I told her, I says, you know, I'm now a Muslim. My religion is Islam, et cetera, et cetera. And she says, her only question was, do you all believe in God? I said, we believe in God, absolutely, and there's only one of them, just one.
Yeah.
She says, then that's good. She says, because as long as it makes you a better person, she says, I'm okay. So obviously your parents reacted in a similar way.
Yeah, because they know that Islam is one of the original beliefs in God. They
Exactly.
My family has that much knowledge. They're not ignorant where they think we, you know, worship something else or other than God. They know worship God.
Yes.
So that wasn't a big problem. Obviously, they would prefer me to be like them and be a Christian. Obviously, I'm sure of that. But the changes, you know, because they tried to, you know, tell me to change and do this, and I even told my father and my stepmother, who were very, very strict on me when I was young. After I became Muslim, I said, I realized what you guys were trying to teach me now was good.
Yes.
Islam taught me this.
Yes.
I said I couldn't see it before. So I told them, thank you for what you tried to do.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
So when they saw the changes, I remember one time my grandfather was on the phone. You know the old guys when they talk to their old, you know, like army buddies on the phone or what have you. So he's talking to him, he said, I don't know what it is. He said, yes, it's Islam now. I don't know what this, or Islam as they say.
Yes.
He's a Muslim, you know.
Yes.
He said, I don't know what it is. He said, they have this thing called the mosque. He said he goes there, he spends a lot of time there. He said he doesn't come in the house late now. He doesn't talk to us in an ill-mannered now.
In a disrespectful way.
Only polite.
Yes.
He does all these kind of chores around the house now. He's left, you know, hanging out with bad friends. He's left doing all the bad things he used to do. So he said, whatever it is, he said, I like it because it's really good for him.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. So this was a positive effect that they had because of the change.
Yes.
You know, even at a young age, I had stopped going to school, and I was in 11th grade. Maybe I just stopped going. I was always hanging out. You know.
So your parents and your grandparents, you know, obviously saw a change in you as a result of becoming Muslim, and they were quite happy about that.
Yes,
I'm sure.
obviously.
Yeah. What do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do. But I mean, my brother, my older sister, I can't really say how, because she was living in a different area at that time, so I don't know really how she felt about it. She didn't really say anything about it. My brother and my younger sister wasn't born at that time.
I see.
But my younger brother, he was, you know, young, so he didn't really have much to say about it. But in general, most of the family, my grandparents and my mother and father, they were all, you know, pretty happy about the changes anyways that was made. Alhamdulillah.
Well, one of the big things I know for me as when I became Muslim, and of course that was in the early 70s, one of the things that impacts a lot of new Muslims is the relationship they have with their friends, particularly if they've had very close relationships with friends, or if they've had you know, behaviors and activities that were very much against Islam. So for you, how did becoming Muslim, you know, impact the relationship with your friends?
There was a lot of difficulty. I'm not going to lie. This is one of the most difficult things, even till today. You know, people when they say, you know, Islam is difficult, it's not difficult. Islam is not difficult. We've just left something for something greater.
Yes.
And then we know we get that something greater in the hereafter. That's what we're striving for. So it wasn't easy. The change, it wasn't easy. And I used to describe it to some of my friends as, you know, I used to literally get sick into my stomach because I wanted to go out so bad to hang out with my friends. I would really, you know, feel this sickness in my stomach, and I just, you know, because in America you just open the door and it's right there. So, you know, it was really difficult. My friends would call me. You know, we didn't have the mobiles and that. It was the pager days in those days, you know. So the pager just keeps going off. And
so what would you say to them? I mean, what would you give excuses or?
I'm going to tell you two stories. Actually, I guess, you know, I'll give you 3 stories that actually changed in my life. The first reason why I started implementing Islam more in like the first week or 2 weeks was one of my friends. We were hanging out on the street where we used to hang out in front of the house where we used to always hang out. And, you know, the corner area, we used to always be there. So when we're there, we're hanging out, you know, people are partying, and you know how it is. You know?
Yes, of course.
So, subhanAllah, one of the guys, he said, look at so-and-so. He said, he claims he's a Muslim. But he said he's just like us. He said he's no different. There's no change. I would only been Muslim for like 9 days in that time.
Yes.
But he said he does what we do. He acts like we act. He's no different. So he's like, Muslim, you know, what kind of Muslim is this? You know, he's not a real Muslim. So I said this statement was like a lightning bolt to my heart. It really, really affected me. So when I went back at home, I started to think, why did you become Muslim? Didn't you become Muslim to become closer to God and to learn more about His religion? And you need to, make some sacrifices,
and to change your life.
To change your life, yeah.
Yes.
So it's one of the reasons, or the main reasons. So that's why I have to make some sacrifices to do that.
Yes.
And that's when I started getting this sickness in my stomach and feeling that I really wanted to go out. So, and the funny thing is the street where that was said, it was actually the street where I was born.
Wow.
And it was the street where I got into a lot of trouble in before I became
Yes.
Muslim. And then that statement on the same street is what changed my life. And I thought about that about a year ago when I was talking to one of my friends about, the things before Islam. And I remembered that. It was really strange, It's all on that same street, subhanAllah. So what happened after this, one of the things that changed me as well with the friends, when you have, obviously, before Islam, you have male friends and female friends.
Yes.
The female friends, they don't want to believe you're a Muslim and you can't have relations with females.
Yes.
You can't talk to them on the phone now and stuff like this. So I was having a big problem with this.
Yes.
And
Why can't you talk to me, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Why can't we go out? And I'm
Yes.
like, no, we can't.
Yes.
So, like I said, it was Ramadan time, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
And, I was with the brothers in the masjid. And there was a brother, I still remember him, mashallah, an older brother from India, mashallah, big beard. He had moved to the States when he was a little bit older. And, beautiful brother, though. He said, I have something, an idea for you to stop all these calls.
And what was it?
I'm going to tell you now. He said, sell me your pager for 25 cents. And I was like, 25 cents? I said, I just bought it for $120, about a month before I became Muslim. And he was like, he said, you trust me, brother? I said, I trust you. He said, sell it to me.
25 cents is like a dirham here in the Emirates. Yes.
And I bought it for like almost, a little over 400 dirhams.
Right.
so I sold it to him. And then he took all the numbers of all the, the females who were calling. And he had a, really heavy Indian accent when he called, So he's like, hello, and then he's talking, and they're like, who is he? He said, I bought this pager from him now. It's now my pager.
Yes.
So they hear this man now with his heavy Indian accent. They're not going to call back again.
Of course.
And they have no way to call me. And so he did this, and he got rid of all of them for me. So that was one. That was one set of the friends. They were gone. With that, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
After this, it was in the last 10 days, and I learned that the sunnah was to make i'tikaf during the last 10 days. So I told my grandparents, my grandmother, she was handicapped at the time. She couldn't move around freely. So I talked to some of the scholars. I said, I need to help my grandmother. So they said, you can go out in the morning for like an hour or two, help her, and come back, to the i'tikaf. So that's what I would do every day. So what happened is they called me, and they had gotten to an altercation, to a fight. And always your friends in Jannah or Islam, if you get in a fight, you have to go back them up and help each other. So they called me to, come to help them out. And I said, no, I'm in a religious thing, we call it i'tikaf. And I explained to them what i'tikaf was, we're in isolation now, where we don't leave the mosque for the 10 days. And they were like, wow, man. They said, you're really serious about this Islam, aren't you? And I said, yes, I am. They said, if that's the situation, they said, we're just going to leave you after that. I said, best of luck to you.
Yeah.
And the thing was, even I used to go hang out with them and tell them about Islam. And one of them did come to Islam, and others they were interested in Islam. But there were some things holding some of them back. They said, we thought you would either be dead or to be in jail in a few years, one of the two. So since you're a Muslim, they said, it's good for you. They were happy for me.
Alhamdulillah. Even though many of them did not come themselves. But they saw the benefit in it.
Big time. Because like I said, I was, even though they weren't good, I was the worst of them. I was the worst.
Wow.
I was the wild one.
Subhanallah.
So they were really, they said, that's good for you. They said, we don't want to see you in jail. We don't want to see you dead. So at least this is good.
Alhamdulillah.
So they saw
those are good friends, actually.
And actually, it's true. So we had a very tight relationship. There was about 6 of us, 7 of us. So they were all, happy about that. So anyways, they left me after that. And they let me be after that. So this was a big change after that. So the friends and the family, that's how it happened after that. Alhamdulillah made it easy for me. A lot of brothers is much more difficult, but alhamdulillah, he helped me to make it,
Alhamdulillah.
And like you saw the little things that happened, it just made it as a way. I got my pager back, by the way.
Oh, did you really?
They sold it back to me for 25 cents.
For 25 cents, alhamdulillah. But I would imagine that becoming Muslim in or near the time of Ramadan is a big help. Because it's kind of like an immersion. Because, if you're going to do it, there's the fasting, there's, of course, the concentration on, praying in the masjid and the i'tikaf and the tarawih, and the Muslims are coming together. And particularly in America, this is a time when you really see a lot of Muslims, in America. So that had to be quite a good thing for you.
Even something that's interesting, a lot of Muslims in this part of the world, they don't know it. and I still feel it. I only spent one Ramadan after I became Muslim before I went out to seek knowledge.
Yes.
But I still remember that Ramadan.
Yes.
The Ramadans in the West, especially in America,
They're much different than they are in the
I
Muslim
think
world.
they're nicer. I'm going to be.
I think they're nicer as well.
And even, you know, some of my all my friends from America, you know, they really miss